Hey, selfies, and welcome back to a Selfish Mother Talks, a space where we protect our peace, choose ourselves first, and grow through real life, not perfection. I'm your host, Kai M, and today we're talking about rest. But before we get into today's episode, right, let's talk about last week. We talked about running your own race, and here's what I've learned. When you consistently are running and like running, like not physically, but like mentally, physically, emotionally. Eventually, your mind and your body and your spirit gets tired, right? And today, let's talk about something that we don't do enough, right? And it's rest. Not because you were sick, not because you were just completely exhausted, but because you intentionally gave yourself permission just to pause. Okay? So, you already know the drill. Grab your blanket, grab your drink, and get comfortable, and let's talk, sis. Come on. Okay, so when did we when did we decide that becoming busy was a personality trait, right? Like, why do we celebrate burnout and why do we feel guilty for just sitting down? And I'm not gonna lie, I have that problem so bad. Like, I feel like if I am always doing something, I don't need to rest. And then my body just completely shut down. I'm sick as a dog. I can't move. And it's like, well, I have been running on E for the longest and I just don't know when to stop. Making this podcast right now, I probably should be asleep right now. But instead, what am I doing? I'm making this podcast because I have always something to do. There's always something to do. There's never a time where I can be like, "Ugh, let me just sit down and rest, girl. I have nothing to worry about. Life is great." And don't get me wrong, life is great. I have nothing to really worry about. But my body doesn't feel that. I'm always on go. I'm always doing something. And it's never like not me not doing nothing. I'm always a mom. I'm always a student. I'm always building the selfish mother persona. I'm always creating content. I'm always looking for another opportunity to do something, right? And it's not to say that I don't enjoy doing those things, but sometimes your girl just need a break. And then when I call my friends or I call my family members or I call whoever, or like when I talk to my counselor, I be like, I'm just so tired. And they be like, so what are you doing? And I name it, they be like, so when are you going to take a break? I can't take a break. Like I can't just break. Right? I can't just rest. I can't just sit down. And I'm telling you, I'm the biggest one because I tell everybody the same thing. I said, your rest day can be a 9/rest day, but only for 2 hours are you supposed to be doing XYZ. And then after that, you just sit down and you do nothing. And I've been trying to implement that. Like, I do it once a week, but it's hard because I feel like if I'm doing nothing, there's always something I can be doing. I can always be editing a video. I can always be creating content. I can always be doing something. But again, I can never pour into myself if my cup is empty. So that's why we have to rest. Like, I can't keep pouring and there's nothing to be poured because I'm always on E. You see what I'm saying? That's why we have to rest, right? And it's like, again, the to-do list never ends. Like, my list of things to do is a plethora of things. Like, I'm supposed to be at the grocery store right now. What am I doing? Recording the podcast. I'm supposed to be over here figuring out what we're gonna eat for dinner tonight because ain't nothing taken out the freezer. What am I doing? Something that I ain't got no business doing right now that could have waited, but here we are, you know? But life doesn't stop, even if we don't stop long enough to do it. And it just doesn't make sense because nobody understands the fact that sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes it takes time to actually do something and you have to process it before you do it, right? It's not like oh, let's go do this and everything's going to work out just like that. No, it don't work like that. We have to do things that make sense for us. Like for me, I have to think it out. I have to write it down. I have to talk to different people about it. I have to figure out how it makes sense to me. And if it don't make sense to me, it's not going to make sense to other people. So once it makes sense to the other people, that's not me, then I can sit down and be like, all right, cool. That's cool. I'm cool with it. You know, and like that. But until then, it won't happen. We have to rest. It don't matter what you do. Girl, get in the bed. Like right now, I wish I could kick my feet up and talk to y'all, but it'll make y'all too far away. So, anyways, so productivity does not determine your wealth, right? Not your wealth. Productivity does not determine your worth, right? And so I always have it bad. Like I always say, oh, I'll rest when I finish this, or I'll rest when I finish that. Or you may be like, I'll rest when I get the promotion. I'll rest when I clean when the house is clean. I'll rest after I pay all the bills. I'm gonna rest when after I take the kids to do XYZ. Right? But what if that day never comes? What if that day never comes? Cause say for instance you pay that bill, right? Another bill gonna come again. Say for instance you get that promotion, right? You gonna want another promotion once again. Once it, your house is clean, right? You got toddlers. Your kids gonna mess the house up once again. So when are you actually going to rest? I'll wait. Exactly. Girl, rest. And I'm not just saying that to you. I'm saying it to myself too. Rest. It's okay to rest. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be like, oh my gosh, I just need a break. I found myself saying that so much this week, and I still have not given myself a break. I think I took like a 20-minute cat nap earlier today. Y'all, I woke up like I was a damsel in distress. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not supposed to be asleep. I have so many things to do. I need to wash the clothes. I need to do this. And girl, them clothes still gonna be there. That food, your baby gonna eat. Everything is okay. You are okay, girl. Rest. It's gonna be all right, honey. Nobody is going to do anything. The world is still going to run without you running around the world, okay? Rest. And so burnout doesn't happen overnight, right? The signs of burnout is very simple. And I'm pretty sure you know the signs of burnout. It's constantly exhaustion, irritability, feeling numb, losing motivation, no joy in the things you used to love, and you just feel your body and your mood just change, right? And you just be looking at yourself like, oh, I don't feel like myself today. And you don't. And that's okay. It's because you're about to burn out. And so you have to ask yourself, have you been resting or have you just been surviving? Because I'm not going to lie. I realized I was just surviving. I took this morning, I got up at 6:30 this morning, and I literally did a in-house self-care day just for me. I woke up before my baby. I took a shower, did my hair, did my lashes, put on some lip gloss, and I just got to feeling like myself again. And I had a better day. Like my mood was better today. I also cooked breakfast. I made us a lunch. Like I was just doing everything, right? And I wasn't as irritable as I was previously because I poured back into myself because I knew something was off. I knew that something was going wrong and I couldn't understand why. And it's because, girl, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm getting up every day, 3 or 4 times a week, getting up at 5:30 in the morning and not going to bed till like 9, 10 o'clock. Girl, to say that you ain't got no job, you always up and about doing something. Girl, if you don't sit down and rest, and that's what I have to tell myself. Like I just have to rest. I have to be some. I don't have to do everything that I put my mind to. Okay, I know. I don't because it's hurting me in the long run. I need to be here and enjoy the time that I have and just relax. You know, that's all I need to do. And don't get me wrong, right? Rest looks different for literally everyone. It doesn't mean you're always sleeping. It doesn't mean you are ignoring people. It just means logging off social media, saying no, going outside, spending time with your child, reading a book, praying. sitting in silence, just looking at yourself in the mirror, just giving back affirmations to yourself. It means a lot of different things, right? And however you choose to rest, you do it. Because again, I told you, I'm the type of person, right, who will take 2 to 4 hours out my day to be productive and do everything that I need to do within that time frame. And then I turn everything off and I don't do it. This week, I did not touch my camera until Friday. Like, I didn't make no content, no nothing until Friday because I felt like I needed a break. Like, I needed to be present in the time and not trying to make memories. I needed to make the memories and not record the memories. I needed to be there for myself and just understand that everything is going to happen regardless of the way I wanted to work or not. Like, this week wasn't the most ideal week that I had, but I got a lot done, and I can't say that I rested some because I wasn't always on go. But at the same time, I was still on go. It was just on go in my home, not on go outside of the world, right? And it's just crazy because now that I'm reflecting back on it, I don't do that often. I don't sit there and I don't be like, oh, well, I could go. I'm going to go. It's fine. Let me just find a sitter. I'm going to do it. And I find myself now saying, no, like, I'll go if I have a sitter. But if I don't have one, I'm not going. And that's just that. Like, it's real. It's different. It's different because nobody puts you in your situation outside of either yourself and also God. And being that person that I know that my purpose is to help others. I have to also remember that I can't help them without helping myself first. And so yeah, so it's just it's different. It's different, right? It's real different. And I don't know why it's different, but it's just different. And so before we get any deeper into resting, right? Because we already got deep. But before we get any deeper into it, we're about to transition to our favorite segment of the podcast, right? You know what it is? I know what it is. You better know what it is. And it's time for what? Poor decisions. Okay? So come on. Let's go make a drink. Because this topic, we need a little reset, if you know what I mean. Come on. Okay, so today we are going to make a hibiscus sparkling lemonade, right? So I have the hibiscus grenadine. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in. If I can open it, there we go. Okay, not a lot, just a little. Measure with your heart. Measure with your heart. Then I got the toast, the sparkling whites, cranberry, and ginger. All right. Then I got the good old Milo's lemonade, the zero sugar. We're on a diet around these parts. Let me slide my glass over for y'all to see. Okay. Just a little, not too much. And there's a drink. And this is called the reset, baby. Take a sip first. I don't want to be rude. Take a sip. All right. Let me drink. Oh, yes. The perfect reset, if you know what I mean. Okay? And so, back to the episode. Let me ask you something. What are you running from, right? Like, what if the reason that we struggle to rest isn't because we have too much to do? It's because we're afraid of what we have to face when everything gets quiet, right? Like, what if we cannot handle the silence? What if our thoughts overcome us? What if we sit down and we can't focus? And it happens to a lot of us, right? So it becomes a distraction almost to even be not busy. Like we're busy because we want it to be a distraction. We're busy because we don't want to know what happens in the unknown. We always want to know what's going to happen, right? But if I'm constantly working, creating, cleaning, helping everybody else, checking out things on my to-do list, I don't have to sit with my thoughts. I don't have to process what I'm feeling at that moment. Anything that happened, I can act like it never happened because I never focused on it, right? And not saying that's a good thing, not saying that's a bad thing, but it's also acknowledging the fact that I don't have to acknowledge that I'm being overwhelmed, that I don't have to admit that I'm tired because I'm always doing something. So obviously, I'm not tired, I'm just enjoying what I'm doing, right? It doesn't even have to be that I confront the things that I've been avoiding, right? Like, have you ever noticed that silence can feel uncomfortable? That it can make you think about the things that you didn't want to think about. And it's not because something is wrong, but it's because for the first time you ever you ever had to just sit down and listen to yourself, right? It makes you feel like, oh wow, I really am overworking myself because I don't want to sit down and talk about XYZ. I didn't know that was still affecting me. I didn't know that what happened years ago is affecting me to today. And I just been ignoring it. I've been neglecting it. I haven't got to the root of the issue. I always thought if I've been busy, I didn't have to think about those emotions. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that was me. That was me back in 2017. That was me in 2020, 2019. Y'all, that was me. I was always the one to have 3, 4 jobs, always have my hand in a different pot, right? Like I was very involved in my undergrad career, right? I was very hands on. I was always at something. I was always doing something. But the one thing you couldn't say that you did see me at was parties for real. I used to get dragged to parties. I still don't like the club. Like I used to I used to always be at community service. I used to always love going to read to the children. I used to always love just helping others, doing whatever I could, right? But I didn't realize that I was ignoring the trauma that I've been through and blocking it out with things that needed to get done, right? And looking back on it now, because it's been about almost 10 years, it's a little sad because I felt like I didn't have anybody to go to about it. And like my friends know about it now, like even the new ones that came about. And I still don't talk about it as much because it's a traumatizing, I guess you could say, like event that happened in my life, right? And it kind of shaped me to who I am today because I'm not gonna lie, this last year has been very eye opening. Like, this is the most quote unquote rest I've done and feel like all my life because I didn't have to clock in at nobody's job. All I had to do was go to school. Go to school, be a mom. That was it. I didn't have to figure out how I was going to eat the next day or whatever because the Lord provided for me. Like, I didn't have to figure out a lot of things. And looking back, I wish I would have like told my friends then, like how I do now, because I know if I need help now, I'm not more so scared to say, hey, I need help. I know, like, when I do say it, I know they're going to help me because I don't ever say it. Like, so now that I know that I can be that person, like, one of my counselors in undergrad, right? She told me, she said, what will it take for me to open the door just a crack to have somebody help me come in, to help me do whatever XYZ needs to be instead of me always doing everything on my own? And I told her then, I'll crack the door open. I said, it's not a big crack. I said, it might not even be an inch. It might just be a half an inch, but I'll crack the door open. And as soon as I said that, something traumatic happened to me, right? Go figure. God has a funny way of showing things. And I called somebody in that time of distress or whatever, and I don't know, it's just eye opening because now 10 years later I'm looking at the same thing almost 10 years later. I'm looking at the same thing again, and it's like, wow, I've grown so much because I've allowed people to come into my life when I needed help, when I needed rest, when I just couldn't do it. Like if I need a break from my child, because I'm doing this by myself and I have nobody else in the household with me. It is just me and him, and he's a lot. And like I get overstimulated very quickly. I can call somebody and be like, hey, can you just come get the baby? Like I could drop the baby off, like, I'll get you lunch, both of y'all lunch, dinner, whatever case, if you want them for the weekend, like I got y'all covered for like food over, however long you want to keep them. I just need a break. And there's people that will get him because they know that it takes a lot to be a mom. It takes a lot to be a parent. It takes a lot to just be an adult in 2026. It takes a lot to just live in 2026. And the rest that I am telling you to get isn't just because I want you to rest, it's because I need you to rest. I need you to be that person that you want to be, but you cannot because your brain is always on go. Your body is always on go. And when you settle down, you don't know how to actually just settle. You can't just sit. And like they were like the doctors would probably like to call it like ADHD or like ADD or whatever, but it's not that. We are just so focused on everything else in the world that we tend to forget about ourselves. We tend to forget that we matter, right? We matter. It's okay for us to matter because we do matter. We are the ones that have to make it through. We are raising the future doctors, entrepreneurs, engineers, veterinarians, like mechanics. We have to shape this world how our future needs it. And right now, they say the power is in the tongue, but you really don't see what you're doing until it's too late, right? And I want you to realize that it's never too late to just take a break. I want you to just rest. I want you to just be still. Okay? Just be still. And so, even if you don't believe in God or whatever, that's between you and whoever. I believe in God. Okay? And I never want to push my religion on anybody, but I feel like in this episode and maybe in episodes to come, we should have like a faith moment, right? Because God rested. God created the world in 6 days, right? And what did he do on the seventh? He rested. So it's not about he wanted to prove that, he could do all things because we already know God can do all things that he put his mind to, right? It was part of his design for us to rest. Okay? If God made room for rest, why do we have to earn ours? Why do we think that we have to earn our rest? If God already told us on the seventh day we rest. Think about it. On the seventh day we rest. And the 7 day typically means Sunday and we rest. But on Sundays we do a Sunday reset. We do let's clean my house and let's get a fresh start for the weekend. Oh, let's do this, let's do that. And we never rest. Right? So why don't we? Why don't we? But before we leave, it's time for this week's mother moment. Okay? So, like, this week, I want you to schedule, right? I want you to create a schedule. Just one. Just one schedule. Just the next 7 days. One of them days better be rest, but this is your schedule, not mine. This is your schedule. Okay, so I want you to schedule 1 hour. Just 1 hour. That ain't even much, bro. 1 hour. That belongs completely to you. 60 minutes. I don't know how many that is in seconds. 60 minutes though. Okay? Not your job, not your family, not your business, not your responsibilities. You. Then ask yourself, what does rest actually look like for you? Right? Like, what did you do? I actually want to know what you did. So like comment under this podcast and let me know, or you can DM me your answer, or like I'll even do like a little conversation on Instagram or whatever. But like let me know what you do for rest, because that might help somebody else find out what they need to do for their rest, right? Like it's not always about me. It's not always about you. It's about helping the community. Okay? So let me know. Cause now I'm intrigued. Because maybe your rest needs something that I need to do with my rest day too. Like even though it's just for an hour this week, but let me know. I feel like we on to something, sis. Let me sing. Let me sing. Let me sing. Okay. So I hope today's episode reminded you that your worth isn't measured by how much you accomplish in a day, right? Girl. That you don't have to earn your rest. That you don't you don't have to do it. Like you just don't. Like you that's the thing. You don't. Okay. You deserve it simply because you're human. Right? Take a break. Kick your feet up, sis. My boy, kick your feet up. Like I don't want you to feel like you can't, like you didn't earn it. Baby, you earned it just by surviving. So every day, I want you to kick your feet up at the end of the day. Take them shoes off. If you got somebody to rub your feet, baby, get your foot rub, because I've been dying for a foot rub, okay? Them foot rubs going to get you right, okay? It's going to take all the pressure that you've been holding on all day, holding up yourself, and it's going to make you feel better because you are releasing everything that you've done throughout the day, okay? But, always and forever, until next time, protect your peace, choose yourself first, and keep becoming babes. And bye, selfies.